Hey, what's going on, guys? The Langbanger here. So I have a new profile for you, and it is using only 3 of the brand new Fire King structure decks. So I'm just starting this up pretty quick. I did a quick little analysis looking through the cards. It was actually pretty hard to even get close to 40. I think I'm at 43. Just a lot of cards that I liked, and that's where you'd have to sit down and kind of figure things out and figure out kind of what makes the most sense. So whether you want to cut down to 40 or not, whether you want to mess around with the ratios of the monsters. I'll also kind of show some of the cards I was thinking of using like towards, the end of my deck build. And yeah, we'll just take it from there. So I think the easiest, because you're allowed 15 cards in your extra, I'm just using 3 of every card that they gave you. So that's 3 of the new Exceed for Fire King, 3 of the Giant Trainer, 3 of the Dire Wolf, and 3 Hito. So that's pretty easy. So that leaves you with 12. And right off the bat, if you do want to upgrade this deck, you would definitely want to upgrade your Link monsters. There's also some better Exceeds out there, either rank 4, rank 8. That's pretty much the majority of the levels that we're using. I think there is one that's like 3. Yeah, for the most part, I think that's going to be your focal point there. So, and I don't think we're using any tuners, so I don't think you have to worry about synchros. So at least that's good. All right, so going into my list here, I'm going with 2 Dogoran. I was kind of iffy on that, but I figure, if we're sticking strictly to what's in the structure deck contents, I feel you almost have to do that because odds are you're going to be playing against some deck that has a really powerful monster out, really good effect, and it's probably hindering your game plan. So I am using some other cards. That's why I'm not maxing out on Dogoran, but 2 should be good. I'm also using Blaster. I believe this is at 1. So if this was higher than 1 per deck right now on the ban list, I would maybe do so just because it's kind of nice, right? Like when things aren't going your way, you got a little mini popper there. I am using Alpha, Master of Beasts, so that is more removal, or should say control, for the field. So that's I'm going with 2 Alpha, 2 the Dogoran. You guys could certainly play around with those ratios if you would like. I think I'm at like 23 monsters, which even that kind of sounds high. Yeah, I mean, certainly if I sat down, started to play games with this, I think I would figure out, kind of what's good. I am using 3 of the new Kingarunix. Figure why not. I am using 2 of the new Kirin. I am using 3 Barong. I am using 3 of the Ponix. I am using 3 of the Arvada. I'm using 3 of the OG Garunix. And that's the monster lineup. So you could see pretty hefty. Out of the other monsters, I guess I did have another Kirin I was maybe thinking of doing. Again, the 3rd Alpha, the 3rd Dogoran maybe. I was even thinking of Wolfbark too. That's not to say you couldn't sneak that in there. I'm just trying to think in my mind, like, yeah, if I summon, if that gets negated, then it's kind of not very fun, right? That's just kind of how the game works nowadays. So if you want to include that, that's cool. If you want to add Droll and Lockbirds, I mean, that's cool too. I was thinking of adding those. But again, it's kind of like the more hand traps you're using or the more cards that you're using that's not popping cards that kind of get your strategy going, I figure it's going to slow you down. So there are at least some good tools here. So even if you want to go with a deck similar to this and have a side deck, right, they kind of give you some tools there. So those are the monsters, like I said, a lot. 3 tanky, so really I guess these are even monsters there. Why not, right? I am using 3 trade-in. So draw power has always been good in this game, and it's not like you're really trying to hit anything in particular, I guess, like, you know, you're not trying to turbo into it, but I believe your big boss monster, you can summon that from the grave, so it's kind of nice to get that in there. Yeah, I am using 3 of the new Sanctuary, 3 of the Island. I'm not sure if you need 3 of each. I mean, you probably do, but again, you'd have to sit down and kind of figure it out. Maybe you could get a flex spot there somewhere, because, you know, certainly whenever you get 1 of each of these, like, you should be good. But then you gotta think if your opponent kills it. So, I am using 1 of the Skyburn. I don't know. It's kind of one of those, like, you have to have a field and then it gets use kind of thinking. I don't know, maybe it's just sorry, maybe that's just me not understanding the deck kind of upfront, but just going with 1. I am using 2 Onslaughts. So the thinking with this, I always like this card, especially, you know, in the old school structure deck or way, and it's kind of get things going. You may not get something going right there and then, but then it's going to pop, and then that kind of gets you rolling. So then I'm using 3 Imperm and then 3 Torrential. So I think that's 43. Yeah, like I said, and that's outside of my deck now, so just pretend that's fully like locked in. Other cards I kind of had to the side. I had the 3rd Onslaught. I had 2 more of the Skyburn, but again, after I was thinking about that a little more, I was like, I don't know on that. Dark Hole. So I was kind of comparing that to Torrential because, of course, like, they're the same cards, but then I thought to myself, do I want a Dark Hole and then can I do plays? Or do I want to have the Torrential set and that if my opponent starts to go off? So that's why I went that route. So if you want to toy around with the ratios on that, you're more than welcome to. The Rekindling, I think in regards to targets, it's just the original 4-star or lower Fire Kings, and I wasn't sure exactly how good that is. I mean, do you want to get multiples out, and then is there, you know, a purpose to like pop them or like do something? I'm not sure. Obviously, this card's insane, generically speaking here, but I don't think any of the new cards were a target. So that's why I excluded it, but that may be a bad move. But then also, as you can see, this is very difficult to get to like 40. So, and then I was thinking of using the trap card, but again, just traps in this game is very slow. I mentioned that in my, you know, product review. Not saying that isn't a good card. I mean, to summon 3 monsters, if you want to include that somehow too, you're more than welcome. But even these extra cards, I'd be at like 53 cards. So I don't know how you guys would do it, but I just want to give you a general idea of how I would run the deck. Thank you guys for watching, and be on the lookout for more videos. Thank you. Bye.